Hey family, how you guys doing? Welcome to Phie.Love Intuitive Conversations. I hope you guys are good. Yeah? If you like my content, please do like, share, and subscribe. And if there's any negativity, if there's any hate, please do keep that on your side of the street, okay? Won't be acknowledged. So, in this video, I'm being guided by Spirit to talk a little bit around the topic of the cost of your new life will be the old one, right? Now, I've mentioned before that we're all collectively going through, we're going through an ascension process. Some people will catch the boat, others won't, depending on how low their frequency and vibration is, and for others, if they're actually able to withstand and catch the frequency rising. Those who reside in a frequency and a vibration that is too low will, through a process of natural selection, okay, they'll be moved off of Earth. I know it sounds a little wild, but it's what's going to happen, because people, we're moving out of the third dimension, out of the third dimensional consciousness, and those who are still too bound and too attached to the old paradigms and ways of being won't be able to withstand the higher vibrations that others who are able to move through the process are moving into. Anyway, with that being said, this gradual ascension, which is actually happening, it's happening faster than what others would actually like to believe, but over a span of time, and every person is triggered into their life changes and issues that they need to resolve within themselves and their environments and their relationships, and the purging and the releasing and all kinds of things. It triggers everybody at a different time and at a different point, and there's an array of things that can trigger your awakening, or your realizations, or your need to release, or just a number of things. You'll start becoming more privy to where you're misaligned with people, and you'll be more aligned to people who are of your soul family and who are your vibration, who will be moving forward with you. And as time goes on, these shifts will be happening, and wherever you have resistance, maybe you've gotten too attached in some places, and you start having a lot of friction in your relationships, or you start being able to see certain flaws and discrepancies and the misalignments between you and other people. You won't be able to ignore it or have your old ways of being just able to sort of cover it and have you brush over and move on with life. You'll literally, on a soul level, start feeling the misalignments and the friction with people that you're not meant to be aligned with, or have within your, or that are not meant to move forward with you anymore, right? But again, it's a multi-layered and multi-dimensional thing. So it's meant quite literally that the cost of a new life will be your old one, and wherever you're being held and kept captive, whether by your mind, your programming, your behavior, other people, your beliefs, whatever it might be, wherever you're being held captive in old energy, the tentacles and all of that is just slowly going to start being, by way of the divine and by way of the raising vibration and purging, and however it's going to unfold for you will start being removed, so that you can free yourself, and start moving forward and understanding what your process is that you're going through, learning your lessons and ascending in perspective and aligning to the people who are right for you, uh, freeing your mind and your perspective and your energy enough to meet with the right guidance and the right people, and the right alignment and path, and whatever endeavors you need to, or that you've been assigned for this lifetime to get engaged with. But again, all those things require you to work out and release and purge certain things within your life and your mind and your vessel, to align to something new. For other people, the challenges become really hard, and this is where they say it becomes a thing of natural selection, right? Things can get really challenging. Some people, might some relationships that the divine and that might need to be broken up because you're existing in different vibrations, or you're existing in relationships of illusion, right? I don't know. I don't know fully. Okay, do I know? I don't know. I'm being given an example right now. Okay, it's very specific, so just move with me. You could be somebody who has a child with someone, and the child isn't yours, but you're under the illusion that the child is yours, right? This is very specific. But you're under the illusion, living under the illusion, living under the stress. At some point you might have prayed, you might have asked for, a life that is free of all the stress that you have, right? In our small minds, we might, only be able to conceive or conceptualize being free of the stress by maybe having balance and peace in the relationships between ourselves and other people. But because maybe, the higher realms and our disembodied realms and the divine are able to see other things that we might not be privy to. You're living under illusion, in being unaware and not connected to your own self, and having been someone who's developed, spiritually, and is maybe not really, maybe you're in a religious mind and you're not really open to connecting with the other realities of life, like our disembodied realm that are there and that are guiding us and that are helping us and that whisper in our ears, and we connect with through our third eye and all of these things. I know that on the religious side of things, people are very blocked off and made to kind of be afraid and demonize these things, and it's all strategically done. But again, for another video, let me get back onto my example, my very specific example. So you could be somebody who has a child with someone, okay, and you're under the illusion that a child is yours, and the only, the reason you have so much stress in your life is because you're attached to somebody who you supposedly believe is the parent to this child, and they're a source of an immense amount of stress and energetic and financial and whatever other drainage in your life, right? Now, how the divine and how this ascension will work these things out for you, how your prayer might be answered, is you being nudged and you being guided to go and just randomly, it might even be, you might feel like you're moving involuntary. I know it's sounding a little woo-woo, but these things are real, especially if you are somebody who's meant to ascend, right? And move forward, and you actually, and the divine wants to grant you your prayer of having a a free and stress-free life of whatever it is you might be bound or going through. So you'll be nudged and you'll be guided, and whatever it is out there, you will just know. Okay, this is really specific. You will just know that you're supposed to take action on something, right? guide you to, let's say, move in silence. Okay, move in silence and go and do a in this case, really, it's men who go through this kind of stuff, right? Go and do a paternity test. Go and do a paternity test, but go and do it in silence, okay? And you know, they'll temper your heart, they'll prepare your mind, but maybe you were moving around, you know, with questions that you haven't felt, you know, confident enough to ask, questions that you've been suppressed or that you've been bullied into not asking and not questioning. I don't know why this is so specific. Anyway, whoever comes across this and resonates with what I'm saying, okay, there's a reason it's so specific. There's a reason it's so specific. If you've been having doubts, the divine wants you to move in silence. You'll know what to do. Move in silence. Don't be afraid of what outcomes might be. Okay? Move in silence. And get the answers you need independently. Okay? This is very specific. Get the answers you need from independent organizations and settle your mind, settle your heart. Anyway, let me get back into my example. That has me feeling all kinds of funky. Anyway, so yeah, the divine may answer your prayer by guiding you to do things that might balance things out for you, like what I've just spoken about, right? Help you find a way to clear up and move yourself out of a space of living in illusions that others who are maybe benefiting off of you, living in an illusion in some way, shape, or form, are whatever, you know, it is. So that's how things might be worked out. In other areas, you might find yourself confronted with like a whole bunch of friction, you know, where you're misaligned with people and friction starts. You're not meant to understand each other. And because we're programmed into attachment, because we're programmed into fear of letting go, because we're programmed into believing we need everybody and things on the outside of us, that has me feeling whatever that was. Because we're programmed into all of these different layers and perspectives of attachment and fear and you know, not wanting to depend on ourselves and higher guidance. All of these things over time, across the board with the collective, is going to be balanced out. What isn't meant to be in your life is going to be removed. And when it comes to the natural selection process, people who are too attached, people who won't be able to withstand and grow through and flow through and move through whatever shifts are happening, people who aren't able to gain the perspective and learn the lesson and detach themselves from whatever it is that they may be engaging with in their environment, with these things that are happening to try and detach them from the old and move them into the new. Some people will get sick, some people won't be able to understand, and you know, there's an array of things that will happen that will naturally kind of move people where where they need to go. And I mean, for some people, families are even split up. For other people, divorces happen. Toxic children, toxic siblings, toxic parents are left behind. Where you have parents that are keeping you in an old energy, not allowing you to grow up, not allowing you to learn to depend on yourself, not allowing you to move into relationships that are ahead of you, that require you to have a clear and clean energy in order to also amplify and bring these higher vibrational energies and states of existence among people into being. All of it needs to happen, but it can't happen when people are still extremely attached to the old, when people are unwilling to recognize where the old behavior, old energies, and old people are still influencing them, unable to accept that maybe certain people, places, and things are hindering them from moving forward into a new place, a new state, and a new life of existence that probably has been prayed for and quietly yearned for in the background. And the divine generally will grant the most sincere prayers. And a lot of the time, the most sincere prayers we have are the ones that we don't say aloud, the ones that we cry and wish for, places where we're frustrated and where we're silently bound, oppressed and suppressed, and being made to invalidate how we really feel, what we really think, because society has put us into shame, because we're afraid of disappointing church or parents or whatever communities that societies that we exist in, afraid to disappoint a friend, afraid to tell somebody no, afraid of being rejected. All of those little prayers for that you say silently in the background, outcries for balance, outcries for help, that you may consciously or unconsciously be requesting of the universe. You might not recognize it, but those are the ones that that hold the most potent emotional and energetic charge, because they linger and they're consistent in the background. Those are the cries for balance and the cries for release and the cries for forward movement from your soul, and not the personality aspect of yourself. So, family, if you see things happening in your world, if you start feeling like you don't belong where you are, relationships start feeling like they're not the right fit anymore, environments start feeling like it's not the right fit for you anymore, people's behavior that you could normally tolerate in the past has begun to start, ration you. You're not able to hold it in anymore. You're not able to hold your truth. You're not able to exist in an environment or in a dynamic with somebody. Those are all signs of things trying to loosen. You're keeping yourself in places where you're not meant to be. It's time for release. It's time for something new. You might also be a hindrance for somebody else. Recognizing, learning their lesson by staying so loyal to your attachments. Okay? Not all your attachments are good for you, and you have to get to a point of recognizing, am I attached to something? Am I keeping something in my life because I'm afraid, or because it's good for me? How does it bring me benefit? What benefit does it bring for me? How does it elevate me? What am I doing for it? Right? So I think I'm gonna stop there. So it's quite a hectic one for me. I'm not even gonna lie. But anyway, I'm gonna pull a card. I'll pull a card today from Ascendant Masters, the Ascendant Masters deck by Dorian Virtue. Okay, and let's see what Spirit has to support our conversation, or to support our conversation. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. To support our conversation, or give someone who's watching our video a nudge in a specific direction. Okay, Spirit, may I please have one card? Twin Flame. So what I'm getting off of this is Spirit wants you to know that if you feel all of these changes, especially within your relationships happening, all kinds of revelations are happening. Suddenly you can't not see things within people and your engagements and their behavior anymore. You feel like you're being made to release things. You're being aligned to energies and to souls and to people in your future who are going to exist on the same vibration that you exist on, okay? Or that you're being guided to, and or that you're being, cleansed to go and exist with. So don't think that things are just happening to you for no reason. There's always a reason for something. And generally it's bigger than what we would just like to rationalize it to be in the physical realm, okay? So you'll be aligned to people and souls that are meant for you. A spiritual tribe, a spiritual family, okay? People who are of your vibration. People who you align with spiritually and energetically, and who are of the same, like minds, like you. Partners. You'll birth children as well who are of a higher vibrational nature. You'll be moved into places where you'll fully understand what it is to be loved and be loyal, and be in engagements that are loyal, and what it is to move freely and be in your sovereignty and be confident in your own mind, your own space, your own energy, your vessel, and your decisions. You'll have clarity on where your life is going, because everything that was of a lower vibrational nature, that was pulling at you, that was distorting your vision and your perspective and your trajectory and outlook forward. All these things that play a role that the system has over time strategically had us get ourselves enmeshed with, so that none of these things are clear to us. None of it. And we always just turn to whatever like I've said before again, whatever the template is on the outside that's been set up for us to live by, or to feel that is, going to bring us the most acceptance and so-called illusion of belonging within the society or communities and environments that we exist in and relationships to, okay? So don't think that these things are just happening and you're going to be left dangling. No. Things will be aligned in the perfect divine timing for you. Just trust whatever processes you're going through. Be more aware. Ask questions. When you start feeling different, when you start seeing things differently, trust yourself above anything else. And when you start seeing things differently, trust your own judgment. Don't be asking people on the outside. 10 out of 10 times what you're seeing is the truth. Okay. So, yeah. Let's see what the book has to say. On the card Twin Flame. I paused the page. This card indicates a twin flame relationship, which is the deepest form of romantic love. To form such a partnership, you must follow your inner guidance, learn personal growth lessons, and have patience with divine timing. What did I say? Once twin flames find each other, everything in their life reaches new heights of love and light. Additional meanings for this card. The person that you're inquiring about is your soulmate or twin flame. You will soon be with your twin flame. Keep your heart open, stay positive, and follow your guidance to manifest your prayers about your love life. So, yeah. I hope this has resonated, and like the card says, you will be aligned to the people who are meant for you. And in order for those people to come in, the old energy, the old ways, the old people, they can't be present, okay? And it's a hard process to go through. I've been going through myself, through a very difficult process over the last years. And I know there are others going through it too, okay? So, I'll see you in the next video, family. If anything here has resonated, do like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.